Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Fireworks in Dearborn as a school board meeting is shut down early by the fire marshal. That decision was made due to the size of the crowd and what we're told was some rowdiness during a discussion on banning books.
Tim Pamplin is there on the scene with the night cam. Tim?
It was a scene of absolute pandemonium at the Dearborn school board meeting this evening as hundreds of parents came out to protest a handful of books that are in the school libraries. Books that some parents say are pornographic.
It's called This Book is Gay by Juno Dawson, and it has some, like, Chapter 9, the ins and outs of gay sex.
Decorum was lost inside the school board meeting as parents yelled and screamed, demanded to be heard. That's when the fire marshal stepped in, shut the meeting down, said too many people in this building.
Guys, they're going to shut down the meeting if you guys don't comply.
We're going to be recessing until we can get the situation under control. This is breaking the fire code.
I'm over here to celebrate victory because they walked down on us today, the school board, because we're not going to let them sit there and do their agenda and say.
And the majority of people that walked out of there truly felt that their voice wasn't properly heard because it got out of control. We need rational discussion in which people can come to grips with what the new moral standard is or what the new standard is.
These vocal parents and members of the community say they need to have their voices heard. They will not be silenced. The meeting was suspended tonight. It's going to pick up on Thursday at the much larger Fordson High School.
And we're going to go to Fordson, and we're not going to let them put the books on the shelf. I don't care what administration said the book's supposed to be on the shelf. These are books that should not be on the shelf.
Shame on you, bro.
So back out here as school board members leave the board offices here tonight. Parents out here tell me they will not be silenced on this matter. That is the scene tonight in Dearborn with the night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Our other top story, a Detroit police chaplain says in her family, it was grandma's house and now it's been gutted by fire and she's asking for help.
Tonight, that chaplain is asking for the community to show its support. Jacqueline Francis is live after speaking with her tonight, getting an up-close look at some of the damage. Jacqueline?
Yeah, as a chaplain, Mary Autry is usually the one to offer comfort and support to families after a tragedy, but tonight she finds herself looking to others for help.
I'm in disbelief, but I have faith to believe that it'll be restored. I just got to get it within myself to make sure I have enough patience to wait it out.
Mary Autry knows there's a long road ahead. Her Detroit home destroyed in a flash. She says her daughter left the oven on overnight.
The smoke woke her up. She woke up coughing and she couldn't see because, you know, the smoke had consumed the entire house.
Her daughter managed to escape, calling 911. The Detroit Fire Department responded early Sunday morning.
Oh my God.
Autry, who wasn't home at the time, coming home to the smell of smoke and the sight of debris.
I normally have insurance, but I ran into a life's hiccup and I said I would get, reinstate my insurance before the month was out. And I never got a chance.
Autry has dedicated much of her life to serving others, working as a chaplain for the Detroit Police Department.
Sometimes it's a simple prayer. Sometimes it's a hug or just a small conversation.
But now she finds herself on the other end of the situation, looking to others for support, starting a GoFundMe to help her rebuild her home.
Trying to stand here and be brave without shedding tears. If I have to start over, I just got to start from scratch and do it.
We have the link to that GoFundMe on our website. Click on Detroit.com. In the meantime, Autry will be staying with family nearby. Reporting live in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Jacqueline.
Macomb County is once again poised to play a pivotal role in the upcoming election, and we polled southern Macomb County, specifically the areas covered by the 10th Congressional District, which is that John James Carl Malinga race. Well, James may be leading there, but what about the race for governor? Our Mara McDonald is live in East Point tonight, and Mara, James has a comfortable 8-point lead, but those gubernatorial numbers are very different, huh?
Pam, they sure are. I mean, in some, they're just flabbergasting. It's the only way to put it. And it shows that Dixon has not made the same inroads with voters here that James has. Let me show you. In a district where John James leads by 8 points, Tudor Dixon is just getting clobbered. However, our pollster says no way will this margin look like this come November.
We have Whitmer winning by more than 20 points here. It's not going to be more than a 20-point win. It's just not. What's going to happen is these ads are going to go up on the air. Dixon's Republicans, are going to start to come home to her. This race will tighten. This race will narrow. The question will be, what will those independents do? And what will those leaning Republicans do?
James has them locked up. Dixon does not, with nearly a quarter of James voters telling us they'll be voting for Whitmer.
Macomb is the home of ticket splitters. It has always been the home of ticket splitters. And my God, we're seeing it now. This is ticket splitting 101 for anybody who needs to know how it's done.
In a district where both Joe Biden and Donald Trump are unpopular, it means voters here are more likely to pick and choose from different parties as they go down ballot. So far, what's driving the message here, and why is Dixon so underwater, especially with women voters? Her stance on abortion.
Tudor Dixon has a problem with leaning Republican voters, and specifically leaning Republican women, those moderate women. There's a lot of them here in southern Macomb County. And if Tudor Dixon can't figure out how to get them back, then, she's in trouble.
Back here live, Dixon has a real opportunity to showcase herself this week. That's because there's going to be the first televised debate between Tudor Dixon and Governor Whitmer this Thursday. And Pam and Sandra, midterm elections don't always bring out all the voters. They tend to not have the same kind of enthusiasm as presidential years. Our pollster, Richard Zuba, says that's simply not the case, that the motivation to vote here is at an all-time high. Expect a high turnout election this fall. We're live in East Point tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
I'm interested to see how it all turns out. Thank you, Mara. And with the election less than a month away, we have launched our digital voter guide with everything you need to know about local races, voting locations, and important deadlines. Just head to the elections page at clickondetroit.com.
Tonight, Detroit police are investigating the circumstances that led to officers opening fire on a known gang member. Police were tracking that man since February for a murder and a home invasion last week. They chased after him through the streets of Southwest Detroit when he led them down a dead-end street. Surveillance video shows the man jumping out of his car, running up a hill, crawling under a stopped train at the railroad tracks there on Logan Street. Police say he was carrying a gun and he refused to put it down. That's when Detroit police opened fire. Chief James White says they're investigating whether the suspect ever fired his weapon.
I just reviewed some video and it was unable to determine if he fired and how many shots were fired from the officer. So we're looking at that right now.
At last update, the man was in critical condition and also going through surgery. State police and the Internal Affairs Division are investigating the shooting.
In Warren, 2 people are dead after a crash near Macomb Community College. It happened at 1:30 this afternoon at 12 Mile Road and Burnett. Police say the driver of the SUV hit several cars before flipping. Both the driver and passenger died at the scene. Police believe that driver possibly had a medical emergency before the crash.
Heavy retaliation from Russia over Ukraine's exploding of a bridge that's been a key supply route for Russian troops. Several explosions were heard early this morning near the capital of Kyiv. The missiles and explosions came during the morning rush hour. Cars were blown out. More buildings were damaged. One Ukrainian official says at least 11 people have been killed across the country. Dozens more have been hurt. Some 85 rockets and drones were fired from one end of the country to the other. Residents in the capital once again forced to seek shelter in underground and in subways. Here at home, Metro Detroiters continue their show of support for Ukraine. A small group gathered in the colors of the Ukrainian flag, standing in solidarity outside of Hart Plaza.